Topping today's news, a man killed during a police-involved shooting. The man accused of murdering 12-year-old Adriel Moxie is sentenced to prison. The government issues a travel warning for Cuba, and the F&M set to officially introduce its ratified candidates for Grand Bahama. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jerino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. Thank you so much for joining us. An investigation has been launched into the fatal police-involved shooting that occurred yesterday on St. Margaret Road off Shirley Street. Preliminary reports indicate that shortly before 5 p.m., officers were alerted to a residence where a police officer had arrived at his home and found a man he did not know on his property. Early findings indicate that the officer questioned the male about his presence on the premises. It led to a confrontation that escalated into a physical altercation. During that struggle, the male allegedly attempted to disarm the officer of his service weapon. The officer shot him, and he passed away on scene. There were 9 police-involved shootings in 2025. 2 of them were fatal. 39-year-old Chris Ferguson of Yellow Elder, the man accused of the gruesome death of 12-year-old Adriel Moxie, was sentenced to 40 years in prison on Thursday. Moxie accepted a plea deal after admitting to abducting, sexually assaulting, and killing the 7th grader of Anatole Rogers High School as she walked home from school in a bushy area near her home off Faith Avenue South. That was November 2024. Ferguson pleaded guilty to murder and unlawful sexual intercourse. He admitted to being at a plaza opposite the school when he saw her walking home around 6 p.m. He said he followed her, told her he lived in the area before lifting her into bushes and sexually assaulting her with his fingers while pulling a belt wrapped around her neck. He said after Adriel stopped moving, he left her there, but returned the following morning to move her body. In addition to the 40 years for murder, Ferguson was also sentenced to 16 years for unlawful sexual intercourse, 1 year for unlawful detention, all to run concurrently. Ferguson will also receive credit for the 13 months already spent on remand. Things in Cuba deteriorating due to pressure from the United States and restrictions imposed by the Cuban president as a result of it. The country continues to experience challenges affecting electricity supply, fuel availability, transportation, and access to basic goods and services. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in the Bahamas is therefore advising Bahamians to avoid all non-essential travel to Cuba. They point out that things could worsen with little notice. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs advises all Bahamian nationals who are traveling to or residing in the Republic of Cuba to exercise caution and to remain aware of current local conditions there. The friendship between China and the Bahamas is strong, and last night the Chinese ambassador held a special reception to mark the Chinese Lunar New Year. Prime Minister Philip Davis gave remarks. He highlighted the many initiatives that China has employed to support the Bahamas and focused on cultural ties. Mr. Davis said the government welcomes the fact that more Bahamians are being exposed directly to China's culture, its history, and its modern development, including through organized visits and professional exchanges. He said these opportunities widen understanding and build relationships that endure beyond any single term, any single administration, or any single project. He said the government looks forward to upcoming training programs and technical engagements in priority areas such as health, trade, and green development. And finally in this segment, tonight on Grand Bahama, the official opposition, Free National Movement, will officially launch its 5 candidates who have been ratified for Grand Bahama. The 5 candidates will be led by party leader Michael Pintard, Marco City, Kwesi Thompson, East Grand Bahama, Fraser Gibson, Central Grand Bahama, Omar Isaacs, West Grand Bahama, and Dr. Charlene Reed for Pine Ridge. The event takes place at the City of Life, number 16, Britannia Boulevard, at the Old Bowling Alley. The event begins at 7:30 p.m. They say the ground will be on fire. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.